miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Good evening, everybody. Mark Klein hanging out with you on another Long Island Blues Warehouse. Welcome. Once a week, we like to bring you a live band on this stage at the world-renowned EKO Studios, Deer Park, New York, doing what we like to do with live entertainment. Music entertainment, that is, of course. I'll tell you what, back in the early days, we had guys that I used to love, like Little Buster and the Soul Brothers. We had legendary bluesman Sam Taylor, and we had the fella on this stage tonight. This week's featured artist, Long Island's own, Kerry Kearney.
Shoes. Gonna love you, baby, but I gotta play some blues. Well, I love to love you, mama. Gonna love you high and dry. Gonna love you, baby, but I'm still on the Memphis high. Susie on my left, sweet Mary on my right. Don't know which one I'm gonna love tonight. Well, I love to love you, baby. Love you high and dry. Gonna want you, mama, but I'm still on a Memphis high. Oh, yeah. face of blues. Well, I love to love you, mama. Gonna love you high and dry. Gonna want you, baby, but I'm sleeping on a Memphis high.
Oh, yeah. This week's featured artist, Kerry Kearney. Kerry, good to see you again, my man.
You too, man.
How you been, all right?
I'm good. How you doing?
I got to start by saying Patty Hunter down in Florida says to say hi.
Ah, it's always a little.
She knew you were coming in this week.
Ah, very nice.
She said she's got new bikini pictures on the way for you.
Cool.
Whatever that means. I don't know. So
Me and Weeder.
it's good to see you, Kerry. We had you in here with the Frank and Kerry Coalition some
Yes, back in
17 or 18 shows ago.
I think that was back in, July. No, not July. Back in January.
Okay, I'll take your
Starts
word.
with a J.
I'll take your word for it. I'll take your word for it. Kerry, we got a whole new audience out there since we last had you in here, building up each week as we go, and we're happy to say that the world-renowned EKO Studios is picking up some nice buzz
Nice.
with these webisodes we started. Always glad to have you on board. Let's remind people what you're all about in terms of history, you growing up into the fine musician that you are today. Let's talk about when you began musically. Were you a little guy? When did you start playing the guitar? When did you decide this is something you were going to do?
I was really small, really little.
How old?
I remember seeing the Beatles on TV. I was about 3.
You were seriously? You were 3?
Yeah, yeah. My older brother played guitar, actually. He played before. I used to watch him play all the time. He'd have a lot of Kareem albums. He'd have Beach Boys, that kind of stuff, some R&B. And when he put the record on, he figured it out himself. I was actually watching him play it, actually, so it was pretty cool.
Are we talking about the same brother that built the guitar you're
Yes,
holding?
that's right. My brother Tim, yeah.
Who
Tim Kearney.
manufactures guitars.
That's right,
That's a beautiful guitar you're supporting there.
Cool.
I like it, and it sounds great, man. But you know what? You could pick up an old tin thing and make it sound good. So what difference does it make? Let's talk about junior high school days for you. Let's talk about what you were doing musically back in those days. Were you involved in garage bands? Were you locked in your room learning to play, writing songs? What were you doing, junior?
A little bit of that, a little bit of the garage thing, a little bit of that, kind of hanging out.
What kind of music were you
Cutting
playing?
out of school and
What kind of
playing
music
stuff
were you playing junior high and high school days?
A little bit of Southern rock. Back then it was kind of happening. A lot of the blues stuff. I loved the British blues, actually, at the time. And even though we did a lot of Southern rock songs, we were called the Night Riders, a band I had back then. I was more into the British, into the whole Cream thing and all that stuff, and Fleetwood Mac back then, too, so that's the old Fleetwood Mac.
How old were you when you first started playing live to the public?
Around
What age did you start?
around 15 or so.
At age 15, you start getting on performing live.
Because back then you could drink when you were 18, and there was a bar we used to play in near my school, and we'd all get our friends to come down from high school, and they let us play in Rockaway Beach.
At age
back then.
15, huh?
I was about 15 years old, yeah.
Okay. And how long did you play with those musicians? How long did you play
For a
with
few years, for about 3 years.
That project lasted a few years.
Yeah, we were doing that until it was like the Beatles. We kind of broke up.
Doing the Long Island circuit a little bit?
Not really too much. No, it's funny. It's a funny story. Can I tell you a funny story?
Please.
You don't have to laugh because it might not even be funny to you. But
We'll see how it goes.
we wanted to branch out of Rockaway. We played like the same 3 places all the time. And so a friend of mine said, we should go to the Arizona because guys like Wes Houston plays there. So we took a ride to the Arizona out in, when it was in Long Beach at the time on Arizona Avenue. And we walked in. There was one woman behind the counter. It was in the afternoon, a beautiful summer day. And we walked up and we said, we're like little guys under the bar almost. We're like, how you doing? We want to, could we want to get a gig here? We want to play. And she didn't say a word to us. She walked over to the jukebox, put a quarter in, put in a West Houston 45.
Okay.
She said, you sound like this? We're like, and she goes, if you don't sound like this, you're not playing here, boys. And that was it. That's what happened, yeah.
It was mildly funny.
It was, whatever.
All right.
I'm sure Wes is falling off his chair right now, so.
Hey, it's Kerry Kearney history, and that's what we're after tonight. Cool. So we appreciate that. I think we're going to put you boys back to work.
Cool.
We'll get you guys to do another one. We'll come back and chat a little bit later. What are we doing next?
Oh, we're going to do a little tune off an old Vanguard record I found. I don't remember who does it, though, but I'll do it for you right now.
You good to go?
It's called Louise. Yeah, absolutely.
Once again on the Long Island Blues Warehouse, we're going to keep it moving with Kerry Kearney.
Oh, Louise, you're about the sweetest gal I know. Oh, Louise, you're about the sweetest Chicago to the Gulf of Mexico. Oh, Louise, why don't you hurry right on home? Yeah, oh, Louise, why don't you hurry right on home? I haven't had no sweet loving. Oh, Louise, since you've been gone. Yeah, gone.
This is Jim Faith from Brooklyn, Long Island, New York, and you're listening to the Long Island Blues Warehouse.
Rambling, I got a rambling on my mind. Well, I got rambling on my mind. Used to leave my baby, but she treats me so unkind.
line by Robert Johnson. Nicely done, nicely done. I want to welcome Maria Fairchild on banjo to the stage. Nice to see you, Maria.
Thanks.
How you
Nice to be
doing?
here. Great.
A new face on the Blues Warehouse. Welcome.
Yeah.
We're glad to have you. And if I had to take a guess, you're going to contribute a little banjo to this next number.
That's right.
Just a guess on my part. Good guess?
Yes. Appalachian style.
Well, I'm looking
She
forward.
plays a certain kind of banjo. It's a little different than the regular banjo.
Well,
And Maria,
it's
you
it's
have-
not bluegrass. It's not really like bluegrass picking. It's an older style of playing. It's called clawhammer.
Okay. You guys good to go?
Pretty much, I think. In about 2 seconds.
Kerry needs to tune up for a second or two because
I'm good.
no point in doing that before we start the show. Tony Campo. I got to have a quick hello to you, my man. It's always good to see you again. Sly Gerald's on the bass. Had Mr. Sly Gerald's in here, our debut show with the F&G Blues Band with Edleen Hart, and it's good to see you again. Bit of a gun for hire, a very funkadelic bass player, singer. Always love what he's all about. Good to see you, man. Kerry, you good to go?
Sly is one of the best around, actually. That's
He
why I always
certainly
say
is.
yeah,
He
yeah,
certainly.
yeah.
There's no. What are you laughing at? We're being serious. We're being serious. As he pays you off. A couple of quarters and a nickel. Give him change, Kerry. Once again on the Long Island Blues Warehouse, we are going to keep things moving with this week's featured artist. It's Kerry Kearney.
Swing that hammer right down hard. Children in an old train yard. Sun shines on your pretty woman, playing pain on my guitar. Driving Highway 61. Robinsonville to Old Greenwood, yeah. And I know I'll never feel this way again since I left you, Mississippi. She's on Beale Street, Tennessee. That Handy's blues horse should be waiting, yeah. We'll cross the bridge to Arkansas. Down that river we'll be loving, yeah. You can say my love's in vain. Riding on that mystery train, yeah. And I know I'll never feel this way again since I left you, Mississippi. Driving Highway 61, yeah. Robinsonville to Old Greenwood, yeah. And I know I'll never feel this way again since I left you, Mississippi.
Nicely done, Maria.
Thank you.
It's good to see you and welcome again to the show. I want to talk with you if I can for a second. Let's talk about some history with you. Do you play other instruments? Is it strictly banjo for you?
No, I play guitar too.
You play guitar as
Yeah.
well. A little acoustic, perhaps?
Yes.
Electric?
Finger picking acoustic.
When did you start? Did you start at an early age?
You know, I started piano at 6, guitar at 12, banjo at 19.
You still dabble with the piano today?
I only play rhythm. I play for Contra Dances in another band that I'm in called Dance All Night.
What's the passion for you, the banjo?
Yeah, it's become my main instrument.
Very nice, very nice. Let's talk about things you were doing, music projects you were doing at an early age. Were you involved in school projects or projects of your own?
Not school, really. I didn't play any of the band or orchestra instruments, so it was more like playing with friends, doing the folky thing, kind of Joni Mitchell and Judy Collins music. And then at the guitar workshop in Roslyn, I discovered old-time music, which is the style that I play. And I saw Jeff Davis play clawhammer banjo, and I was mesmerized. And I said, I have got to learn how to do that. And then I did.
For me as a kid, on Hee Haw, it was Roy Clark. And
Okay.
watching him do the banjo, perform the banjo, I remember saying to my dad, I'm like 7 or 8, Dad, you got to get me a banjo. He's like, well, you'll play an acoustic guitar, and if you do well with that, we'll get you a banjo. And 3 weeks later, that was the end of it. I was back out playing with the friends.
Oh, okay.
You stuck it out. You grew into the passion early, it sounds like.
Yeah, I did, and I kind of drifted away for a while, and I came back to it.
You put it
and-
down for a period.
Yeah, but and then I started playing it for dance music, and dancing like contra dances is kind of like an old time kind of dance, not quite square dancing, but similar. There's a lot of it on the island actually, and then started listening to bluegrass, and then I started playing other types of music on it too. I mean, I play a Jethro Tull tune on my CD,
What song?
Mother Goose.
Are you serious?
Yeah, really. I figured, why not?
I know there's guys here in the studio that would certainly appreciate that. We'll have to talk about that. I thought you were going to give me a little piece right now.
Wrong tuning, sorry.
Another time, perhaps. Another time. Good reason to bring you back in the future. Let's talk about some other projects you're involved in right now other than working with Kerry Kearney. What are some other things you got going?
My latest, most exciting project is playing with the Long Island Bluegrass Quartet, LIBQ. And that features Bill Ayas, wonderful fiddler and mandolin player, and George and Julie Canova, who were part of another bluegrass band called Blue Detour. And I've played at the Long Island Bluegrass Festival in Tanner Park, which happens every August. I've done that for a few years. And so this group is going to play this year, August 20th. And we're having great fun. We like playing together. We all have our particular roles in the band. And it's working. It's great fun.
It adds a great dynamic to what you're doing tonight with Kerry Kearney. And I can only imagine how it works out with some of these other projects that you're talking about. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. Maria Fairchild on the banjo, we thank you so much. Keep going strong. Look forward to seeing a lot more of you, more with Kerry and other things you do. So we thank you very much. Kerry, you good to go?
I'm good, great.
Boys and girls, we all set?
We're ready.
I don't even have to ask Mario. He was born ready, as I know. Once again, on the Long Island Blues Warehouse, we are going to keep it moving with this week's featured artist. That's Kerry Kearney.
touch, your gentle kiss. You're in my sleep every single night, and in my dreams I'm holding you tight. Your gentle touch I can't forget. day. Your gentle touch, your gentle kiss. You're in my sleep every single night, and in my dreams I'm holding you tight. Your gentle touch, I can't forget.
Oh, yeah. This week's featured artist, Kerry Kearney. Kerry, I always love when you strip it down in the acoustic feel.
Cool.
Nice thing. Nicely done, my man. Nicely
We do
done.
that a lot, actually, a place called Beanberry Cafe. Beanberry Coffee.
Miller Place?
Yes, we've been doing it over there.
Yeah, we've been promoting you at Stony Brook, doing shows over there.
Oh, it's been a lot of fun. It's great. The last
Yeah.
one we did the first one a couple of weeks ago when it was the summit, first summit actually. We're having the second one I think is in July.
Very
In
nice,
July,
my
it's gonna be a lot
man.
of fun.
Very nice. If you'll, you don't, you're going to be doing electric next?
Yeah.
If you want to walk that chair off behind me off stage, I want to grab Sly, if he'll head on up to Maria's mic for a minute. Sly Gerald's on the bass. I love how you can just let the bass go and it stays right there in its stand.
Yeah, I like that.
Good to see you, Sly Gerald's. How are you, my man?
Doing all right.
First thing I want to ask you is, what the heck kind of bass is that? What is that thing?
This is called NS Upright.
An NS upright.
Electric Upright. It's a made by Ned Steinberger. Remember those headless guitars and basses back in the 80s?
I sure do.
Same guy made this. It's a beautiful sounding instrument and fits in the overhead.
A lot easier to carry than the old-fashioned style,
Oh,
huh?
yeah. Definitely had to buy a seat for the other one. I could stick this in the overhead.
Very cool, my man. Very cool. We had you in here for our debut show, as I mentioned, with Edleen Hart some 19 or 20 weeks ago.
Yeah.
The F&G Blues Band thing. Tremendous addition you were to that project, as well as what you're doing in here. Let's touch on some history with you real quick for the new people out there checking out the show tonight. Let's talk about when you began musically. Did you start young yourself?
Yes.
How old?
8.
You started on the bass at age 8?
No.
What'd you play first?
Drums.
You started on the kit.
Well, it started on a snare drum, you know.
Okay.
And
How long
then-
did that last?
About 7 years.
You
I
still,
played it all the way up until junior high school.
you still dabble today?
Yeah, you know.
At home, you'll mess around a little
Yeah,
bit.
like singing in the shower, you know. Well, the thing about it is that my best friend was a drummer. So the two of us we wanted to be in a band together, but we couldn't, you know, we weren't hip to the Allman Brothers kind of thing. So there could only be one drummer. So we had a contest. Who could ever play the best drum solo, and the whole school got in on it, and it was crazy.
The good old days, huh?
So if he lost, he'd play guitar in the band, and if I lost, I'd play bass.
You're a bit of a gun for hire. You're a bit of a gun for hire these days with the bass. I know you do some session work with some players in New York City, as well as some of the kick butt players here around Long Island. You got your own project going on, as well as F&G Blues Band with Edleen. You're a hell of a force to be reckoned with, my man. Always.
And I have my own band also.
Well, that's what I just mentioned.
Oh, sorry.
The Sly Gerald's Band.
That's right, yeah.
What's the website for your project?
Sly Gerald's band is slygeralds.com.
You had to think about that for a second.
Yeah, I know. He's like, Sly, S-L-Y, Gerald's, Geralds.
Holding down the bottom end real well, my man. Always appreciate what you're all about.
These guys make it really easy.
They do, don't they?
Yes,
Don't
they
they? Sly Gerald's on the bass. We thank you, sir. How you doing, Tony Campo?
All right, Mark.
Had you in here about a year ago with Kerry, year and a half,
right,
something like
that's
that.
right, yeah.
Let's talk about when you began with the keys. Did you start young yourself?
I didn't begin with the keys. I began with trumpet
You started with the trumpet.
at age 7.
What got you started with the trumpet? Like a school thing?
Louis Armstrong.
Louis Armstrong.
And Louis Armstrong. Pretty much.
That's
Louis
all you're going to say about that?
Yeah. No, it was what was the other guy's name? I can't think of it now. Let's just stick with Louis Armstrong.
You still dabble with it today?
No, I want to very much. I actually want to play saxophone, but I haven't had time to break it down yet. But I have an alto sax at home. So, but that's my thing. I like to play horn.
When did you get serious? When did you get serious with the keys?
I really didn't have the aperture to blow the trumpet when I was 7 or 8. So my grandparents went to Italy, and they brought back an accordion and the trumpet. My brother got the accordion and hated it. Eventually became a drummer, and I inherited the accordion and took to it. So, and the music in my family comes from my grandfather, who was a guitar player.
Okay, okay.
So he gigged when he came over here, and he met my grandmother at a gig. So the rest is just history for me and my brother.
Very nice, very
Yeah.
nice. You've been working with Kerry for a bunch of years now, haven't you?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
You guys have done a few albums together, Kerry's.
Quite a few.
Quite a few. Kerry's
Quite a
got
few.
Kerry. How many albums you got these days? About a dozen more?
75, right? 12, yeah.
But there's about a dozen.
Yeah.
And how many have you been a part of, Tony? Half of them at least?
More than half.
More than half.
Yeah, I think more than half.
I know you've been working with Kerry for a long time. And
Yeah.
You make a great addition, another tremendous dynamic to what
Thank you
Kerry's all
very
about.
much. Thank you very
Always
much.
appreciate seeing you do your thing. Tony Campo on the keys, we thank you so much.
Thank you.
Look forward to seeing a lot more of you. Kerry, let's keep it moving. Let's jump into another one. We'll come back and talk to some of these fine percussion boys behind you.
Cool, man.
Let's take advantage of the time and keep it moving. What are we doing next?
I forget what it's called.
Called the
actually.
Blues Society's song
That's exactly theme song. That's what
by
it is,
Kerry
yeah.
Kearney.
It's called World Train.
What? Say again?
World Train.
You good to go?
I think so. Yeah.
Once again on the Blues Warehouse, we're going to keep it moving with Kerry Kearney.
Go to Mississippi, baby, I'm going to Tennessee. Come on, sweet mama, would you ride the train with me? Come on, baby. Come on, girl. We're gonna ride and ride, ride all around the world. Going back to Texas, going to New Orleans. Come on, sweet mama, ride the train with me. Come on, baby.
Oh, yeah. This week's featured artist, Kerry Kearney. Nicely done, Kerry, as always. What was the name of that piece again?
That was called World Train.
World Train, written for the Blues Society.
A long time ago.
For the
About
Long
12 years
Island
ago,
Blues
something like
Society,
that.
of
Yeah.
course. Very
Yes.
cool, my man. Nicely done. Nicely done. Let's grab Mario Stiano on the drum kit for a second, if he'll pull that mic about an inch in front of his face.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mario?
I'm doing fine. How you doing?
Good to
man?
see you again, my man.
Great to see you too.
We've had you in here with a few projects over the years.
Yes.
Legendary blues man Sam Taylor, we mentioned in the beginning of the hour.
Yeah, my man Sam.
You've had a chance to work with.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some highlights for you before working with Kerry and being a hired gun yourself. You had an opportunity to work for a few years with Kim Simmons and Savoy Brown.
Yeah, we did about 5 years together on the road.
You and another Long Island fella named
Jerry Sorrentino.
Jerry
Yes.
Sorrentino on bass.
Yeah.
You guys traveled for 5 years with Kim.
Yes, well, Jerry actually longer. Jerry was with him for about 8 years, actually.
Very nice.
Yeah, so.
Very nice. I'll tell you,
He's the longest standing member in Savoy Brown, actually.
even from the old guys in the early
Even
days?
the old guys were gone. I was just talking to Roger Earl last week, and they were only a year or two.
From Foghat, of course. He
Yeah,
played
yeah.
with
Well,
Kim
that's
and
it.
Savoy
Right,
before Foghat.
Yeah, he got the gig because he could do a shuffle. That was his big.
That's
thing.
how he got the job by performing, because the guy they had couldn't do the shuffle.
Right.
So
Great-
they had him come in.
Great
They-
drummer.
They got him out of some
Good man, too.
musical rag in London, some musical melody maker magazine, I think
Right.
he described. And
Yep.
he performed that shuffle and passed the audition.
Yes.
But you had a run, about a 5-year run with him.
Right. Yeah.
That
So
just-
I guess I'm the second.
You're the
longest.
second longest standing. Hey, that's not too shabby, man. That's not too shabby. You played with Sam Taylor for a good number of years as well.
Oh yeah, over 10 years with Sam. We did about 6 or 7 records together. Toured Europe. Sam was an incredible man. I mean, I was so blessed to have met him, and to have been able to play with him. I learned so much from Sam.
He did teach you a lot.
Oh
I know.
man, yeah. He
kinda
taught
took
me the ropes.
He took you under his wing a little bit.
Yes,
Going
yes.
up to a Kerry. Yeah, you
He,
can walk over.
he prepared me for Sun Seals, for Maxine Brown. I mean, Gary U.S. Bonds. Everyone that followed, I took a little bit of Sam with me. So
You sure did.
it was
You
awesome.
sure did.
It was awesome.
Another hell of a player here on Long Island, and I always appreciate what you're all about.
Well, thank you, man.
Mario Stiano on the drum kit. We thank you, sir.
Thank
Let's
you.
talk to Chris Cangeleri, if we can. Percussion. It's good to see you, Chris.
Good to see you. Nice to meet you, Mark.
Did I pronounce that last name right?
Yes, you did.
Well, it's good. It's good to have you on the stage, man.
Thank you.
And you've been playing percussion. You start young yourself.
Yeah, I've always been banging on stuff.
All right. Pots and pans as a little guy.
Yeah.
Driving
yeah,
the folks
yeah,
crazy?
I got nervous hands.
Good job. Just stick them in your pockets, man.
There you
Stick
go.
them in your pockets. You should have taken the bell and the tambourine with you while you're up there. No, I'm teasing you. How long have you been working with Kerry Kearney?
I'm a newcomer.
You're a new guy.
Kerry asked me to play tambourine with him one night, and I feel very blessed to be able to be part of this. I'm very thankful. Thank you. New kid on the block.
Let's talk about when you began, some projects you were doing early days for you. You remember some things you were involved in?
Well, when I was real young, I started really working with a very good friend of mine, and we spent a lot of time writing songs while a lot of our peers were out in garage bands. So that's kind of developed into more of a songwriting thing, and singing harmonies. I actually am a singer primarily.
You sing as well.
Yeah, that's the primary thing that I do. But I like this.
You prefer to be in the shadows.
Sometimes it's nice. Sometimes it's nice just to, be a guy on the side.
Just
Sure.
lend another nice
That's
dynamic
right.
to a
Yeah,
project
yeah.
you're involved in.
Yeah.
So what are anything else you're working on these days other than with Kerry?
My current band is Net Profits with a PH. A bunch of guys I met. Actually, I have to thank Sly in large part. I started to attend a lot of these jams a couple years ago. Sly hosted one, and he was always very gracious with me. And I met a bunch of great guys.
The Ollie's Point jam you had going?
The Ollie's Point, yeah. Not the one, no, the one before that, the Blue Moon. The Blue
Bad Moon Saloon.
Yeah. And, I met a lot of great people and just hooked up with a couple of guys, and we're rolling. We're going on a year now with the Net Profits Band.
Very nice, my man. It's been a year already, huh?
Almost, yeah.
You surprised at that, huh, Sly? What'd you you acting like you thought it was a month or two. Time does fly.
Actually, our first gig was in October, so.
All right. Very cool. Chris Cangeleri on percussion. Great dynamic to what this is all about, man, tonight. So we thank you
It's a
so
lot
much.
of fun.
He also does something else, too, in his life.
What's that?
Very interesting, actually.
I'm a veterinarian.
You're a DVM?
Yeah, yeah.
Is that right?
There's,
Yeah.
there's a great picture of him on Facebook.
Because I have a cat at home that's always. No, I'm teasing you.
I could neuter him.
He already is. He already is. But Apollo and Athena, my two cats,
Yeah.
and they attack each other like night and day. And another story for another time. But it's good to see you, my man.
Thank
Chris,
you.
Chris
Thank you for having me.
Cangeleri. Thank you so much. Kerry, please share with us the website so people can follow you and see what you're all about.
It's kerrykearney.com.
Now that people are grabbing a pen because they want to write this down,
It's KERRYKEARNEY.
let's take the marble out of your mouth and say it one more time so they can understand you.
KERRY.
Kerry.
KEARNEY.
Kerrney.
Yes.
Dot what?
.com.
.com.
Yeah.
Just checking.
Just pull the name up and it'll come up like that.
Just checking. Kerry, another tremendous talent. You're going to play us out in a second. I got to thank Chris Cangelieri over here on percussion. Back there on the drum kit, we got to thank once again Mr. Mario Stiano. Thank you so much, Mario. On the banjo, where is she? Can we get a shot of that beautiful banjo player right over there? Maria Fairchild. Thank you so much, Maria. On the bass, Mr. Sly Geralds. Thank you so much, Sly. We got to thank Tony Campo on the keys once again. Thank you so much, Tony. And last but certainly not least, Mr. Kerry Kearney, frontman vocals, chief bottle clerk and bottle washer, whatever the saying goes. Man with all the hats and all the headaches. I'll just leave it at that. Kerry, a tremendous, tremendous addition to what Long Island has to offer in terms of what we do. So we appreciate always having you in here. You're going to play us out, but before you do, James Faith from James Faith Entertainment. Do you have anything to add?
Please remember to check out EKO Studios at ekoproductions.com. They're the official studio of the Long Island Blues Warehouse.
Well done, James. James is a fella here on Long Island that's been supporting live music a little longer than me, Kerry. So it's always good to have Jim come in and pop his hand in.
Way back when, remember when I met you?
That,
When I met you way back when.
you talking to me or Jim?
I'm talking to you, my friend.
You met me way back.
You talking to me?
You met me when?
Remember when I met you? How long ago?
Who's on first?
Yeah, remember? How long ago?
Second base. Kerry, it's always good to see you. Yeah, we go back a ways, you and me. You started on my show some 17 years ago, and it's always good to get you in here once every couple of years if we can. Always love what you do. KerryKearney.com for further information. I'm Mark Klein for the Long Island Blues Warehouse at liblues.com every week. Here's where you're going to find us, bringing you a new band on this stage at Echo Studio. So thanks for joining us. Kerry, you're going to play us out. What are we finishing up with, my man?
It's an old Beatle tune.
Called?
It's called 909. One after 909.
You know how to perform it, though, right?
Well, on our own way.
You don't know the name of it, but you know how to play it?
I know how to do it.
You good to go?
Good to go.
Please say goodbye to this week's featured artist, Kerry Kearney.
Bye, man. Thank you.